Welcome back, everybody, to Late Night at the Movies on the Late Night Chat Network, your first stop for pop culture talk. This is our movie discussion show. I'm your host, Nico, and joining with me today, we got Julie Mack in the house and a special guest, Parth, returning. How you doing, Parth?
Thanks for having me. I'm doing great.
Thanks for joining us. And it is Parth's pick. He stepped in to help us out here today, since we got Max, who's been on a brief sabbatical, a little bit of a hiatus, and JT actually was unable to join us here last minute here today, but that's okay. They'll be back, both those guys, at some point. But Parth, we had asked even before Jay was unable to make it here today. Yeah. We're happy to have him join us here today. And if you guys missed Parth on his last appearance on the show, he actually joined us for some more QT picks. I love that you keep picking Tarantino picks, man. I mean, he's one of my favorite directors, so you're always welcome here if you pick these Tarantino picks. So we did Kill Bill Part 1 and 2 with Parth last time. I think it was you, me, Max, and Julie. Hey, what's going on? No JT that neither? Wow, this guy got against you, Parth. What's going on here? See why I'm taking shots at it?
Maybe we're the same person. No.
Yeah.
We've never seen them in the same room. You're right.
It's true. That background you got going there, I don't know about it. It kind of looks similar. No, it's actually a lot cleaner than his background.
Yeah. JT's fucking water bottle farm.
Yeah, this is starting out as a roast of JT. I don't want it to go that way. So.
He knows we love him. He's fine.
I know. It's okay. He's never gonna watch this. So.
Exactly.
All right, but yeah, Parth, he picked Django Unchained for his return episode here today, another Quentin Tarantino film, and I think at this point we've done. Let's see, we've done Pulp Fiction, we've done both Kill Bills, we haven't done Reservoir Dogs, we haven't done Once Upon a Time in Hollywood or Jackie Brown, we've done Inglourious Bastards. So yeah, I believe this is our fifth Tarantino film that we've done on the show here. So, and I mean, I would not be surprised if we do almost all of them at some point here on the show. So yeah, thank you for picking this. Great pick. And go ahead, Parth. Why don't you take it away? Let us know why you picked it.
Heck yeah. So I picked it because Django is my number one QT movie of his repertoire. It's just the best to me. It tells a really good story that needs to be told in a really violent but beautiful way. And I think just like growing up in America, there's always been racism around me. Like it's just part of America. And when I was in New Jersey, there was a lot more Indian people, different diversity there. But when I moved to Florida, it was bad. So I feel like I felt more of that when I got to Florida. And so like this just like kind of shows where all that comes from, right? Like slavery led to racism, racism led to slavery, led to all this hate, and now this just led to like so many problems. And it's just like this ever growing but huge problem that is told in a brutal way by Tarantino. So I think this is a good like origin story of some of that. That's what I have for why I chose it. Just like racism in America, big problem, always has been, and this kind of shows the brutal truth of it.
Is that at its core, though, why you feel that this is your favorite film? Because he addresses some of that, and like to be honest, in a more like I would say, entertaining, adventurous way, though, at times in this movie,
I
right?
think it's super adventurous, super entertaining. Like, I don't think that's what makes it my favorite. That's a great question. Like, I think that's just a background part of the movie. I think what the movie itself is so entertaining as like this like cool quest to reunite love and all of that. Like, it's definitely a great story, but he chose like a really good period to have brutality in it.
Yeah, I know that this is what people have now coined, like I don't know if he said this originally or if this is what the fans have now decided, but this is part of his revenge trilogy, essentially. Right? revisionist revenge trilogy that he's done between this and Inglourious Bastards and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, where he's kind of revisionist history type films where he does take actual factual type of stuff that happened in history, but he kind of obviously changes a bunch of things about them to make them more tales where the oppressed folks actually are able to get revenge on the people that are oppressing them with Nazis and Inglourious Bastards, of course. And then in this one, obviously, just the America and slavery times there in the South, specifically, I guess, in this film, right?
Right.
So, I that's why I asked it off the bat, off of what you said, because I know for some people too, they maybe criticized this film because he was able to kind of take that aspect of history, but then also find a way to, but in a good way, where he does make the black character the like the star of the show in this movie. Like, he is the hero. He does get his revenge, rightly so. Like on the people throughout this movie, right?
And so he becomes so cool.
Yeah, exactly. And like, he does do it in a fun, adventurous way. And when I've heard Quentin Tarantino talk about that kind of was his idea of making this, like, his, like, again, love letter to like more spaghetti westerns that he's a fan of. And obviously there's the original movie Django, which I've never seen, but I've heard about. Yeah. So it's really cool that he was able to kind of, for one, I like that he does stuff like this. My buddy, who's like a big World War II buff, though, hated Inglourious Bastards, for instance, because he likes it up to a certain point. Like, he's like, obviously this guy has done his research and he knows this stuff. But then when it gets into the parts where things didn't actually occur the way they did in real life, he kind of diverts from in his enjoyment of the film as a result of it, right? Which I don't agree with. I, for one, like that, but you always do have those Quentin Tarantino detractors that may like the fact that he does this, and there's others that don't like the fact that he does this, right? I'm, for one, and one has always enjoyed that he does this, because you can tell there's a lot of love for the material and the time period and these people that he writes, like these lovingly, like these characters that he does so much, he puts so much into in terms of their characters, right? Like these, right?
Yeah, so, like Julie mentioned, there was somebody that noticed that the dynamite wasn't actually invented when this movie took place, so that was like a little small goof. But like, he could have done the movie without dynamite. That was not like a pivotal point of it, but it just made it so much more entertaining.
Right.
Like, it was fun. It was a big bang.
Yeah. So when was the first time you watched this movie? When it first came out, did you see this, or?
Not like right when it came out, a couple years afterwards, like maybe just a year or two afterwards. So it's still pretty fresh. Yeah. What year did it come out again? Do you recall?
2012, I think.
12, yeah.
I seen this one in theaters. At this point in time,
nice.
At this point in time, I think from Inglourious Bastards on, I've seen all of his films in theaters. Like, that was the time where I think, I didn't see Death Proof in theaters, and I didn't see Kill Bill in theaters. I think the movies that were before Inglourious Bastards, if I'm not mistaken. So this was like the period where I was all in on him, and I watched every film, which not many. I mean, there's four, I think, right? So no, wait, this, Hateful Eight, and Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right? Is there another? There's just those three, right?
Right. You said you did Inglourious Bastards as well, though?
Oh, yes. Yeah. So those ones are all the ones I've seen in theaters, right? So, but that's pretty much my history with the film. I watched it in theater. I was a big fan of his at the time. I remember on your last episode, we did a top 5 Quentin Tarantino ranking. I can't remember if I ranked this 5th or 6th on my ranking. And it's not that I don't like this movie, but it's just like that just kind of speaks to more like how much I love a lot of, like, almost all of his films. So I gotta say, though, upon this rewatch, I'm looking forward to the discussion, because it's still a really good movie. I haven't seen this in a while, so I was actually happy to talk about this one, because between this and I think even more so Hateful Eight, I haven't really rewatched Hateful Eight all that much, and that ranks low on my list at the moment. So I'm looking forward to checking that out again at some point as well.
Me too. I think it would be interesting to watch after this too, like after rewatching this, because I think they're all pretty related in a way, but like I think those two definitely connect in a way that'll be interesting to watch with that fresh mind.
Yeah. So this is your favorite Quentin Tarantino film?
Yes, number one. This is number one, and Inglourious Basterds is number 2. So I definitely like his revenge thrillers. But this is number 1 by far. It's just so entertaining to me the whole time. I'm like edge of my seat. I'm cheering for him. I'm sad. I'm everything. It's great.
How about you, Julie? I can't remember if this is one of the ones I think did you guys watch this together for the first time? You had watched? Yeah, I know you've only seen.
No.
No. Okay. I remember you said you've
This
seen
is
like
my first watch.
This is your first
Yeah,
time
yeah.
watching this one? Oh man. Okay. All right. Go ahead.
I hadn't seen it before. I listen. I never doubted that it was a good movie. I have avoided watching it for so long because it's an uncomfortable subject, and I knew that it was brutal.
You
But
needed a brown person to watch it with.
I needed a token person to tell me it was okay. Something, you know. No, I knew it was brutal just because Tarantino he has this tendency to have a lot of brutality in movies in general. But that, in addition with this being such an uncomfortable subject, and I knew that it was just going to double down on brutality because of the subject matter, so I avoided watching it for a long time. But I've never doubted that it's a really good movie. And yeah, that being said, the first watch, it's a fucking really good movie.
Yeah.
But it is brutal. It's brutal. At some points, it's hard to fucking watch.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. I mean, rightfully so, as it should be, right? And
Yeah.
that's why, like, I can appreciate, like, for some people, like, for them not wanting to like this movie or watch it, or if you know what I mean? Like, I understand, I guess, obviously, and it involves stuff that I, have no,
Right.
I can't imagine that like what happened with the slavery aspect of it, right? Like, I know it's a thing that obviously has happened, and
This movie gives us white guilt. That's what it is.
but again, like, and some people would say and argue, and I think they have, like, the Spike Lees of the world and stuff like that against Quentin Tarantino, that he should not be the one making this movie, right? But then he has, the actors in the movie itself that were defenders of him making this movie in that sense, right? And it just, not to get into this whole topic for the whole conversation in that sense, but since we are on the topic of it, it's with him, like, I feel like, you can tell that he has so much love, and there's so many of these films that the black person is the star of them, and the way he shoots them and the way he casts them and the great characters that he fucking writes for them. Like, there's no, like, that's why I don't think he's a racist. This whole idea that because he used the N-word in a lot of his films earlier in his career, that this whole like dialogue started about him being a racist, right? Which is not, I honestly don't not think is the case. I really don't, because, like, I mean, Samuel Jackson's the one that said that. He's like, you think this person could have wrote this great of a character for someone he had hated his heart for so much like this? He's like, he's not a racist. He's like, I've worked with him for like almost all my whole career. Like, he's the one of his number one defenders, right? So, like, but again, like, it's interesting some of the places that he's went with some of his films, and I get some of the, like you said, some of the things that he touches on is not for everyone, right? But I would argue also in that same way, like, he some of the, even his violence, it's so ridiculous, the violence in this film. Like, things are exploding, like, blood is flying all over the place, like the stuff, the brutality in some of the scenes, like, at least in the shootout stuff that he does, it's not realistic. It's not like, it is supposed to be more like spaghetti westerns, like old school type movies like that, where it's just like, it's just that it's, he always, like, I don't know, some of his stuff is brutal in some of his films, but other stuff, like, you can tell, like, it's supposed to be more like, I don't know, I don't want to use the word fun, but bombastic and like exhilarating more than anything. And some people, it's too much, right?
It's like cartoony, like how yeah.
So, and again,
to be fair, not the brutality that I'm referring to.
I'm aware of what you're referring to. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm aware. Yeah, I'm
it's
aware.
Not the shooting, they're clearly like exaggerated violence.
Some of the violence. That's why I said some of the violence.
Yeah,
obviously, some of the themes are pretty harsh, I would say, and stuff. And
yeah.
you have some whipping stuff, obviously, and there's the dog part. Yeah,
Yep.
I know there's
the
parts.
Django fight.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
But those are all intentional, like, in adding to, like, the perspectives of these characters witnessing this in the film. That's what I mean.
Right.
I will argue for those moments, right? But again, and I get why he did certain things in this movie in that sense, right? Whether or not he's the person that should be writing that material, I'm not gonna comment on, because I think it's fine personally. But
I saw some interview that was like him being like kind of defending that and being like, oh, people said I used the N word too many times, but do you think they wouldn't have used the N word that many times at that point in time? Like
this
if
is the period where they would have.
yeah, so it's like if I didn't put that there, I would be lying to whitewash the movie.
Be
And it's like
inauthentic.
that's not what we're looking for. So
Right. And the way that the characters react to it, I mean, he has the people that, with the Dr. Schultz there that don't agree with what's going on throughout the whole film, right? Which is, I felt like he was kind of like he was doing a favor there after casting him as one of the most despicable people in Inglourious.
Yes.
Lambda.
Yes, I saw some trivia that was like Christoph Waltz was like, I'll play the role, but you got to make this character pure. And Tarantino was like, all right, I got you.
He's like, so I'm gonna still make you a bounty hunter in this one. But you're gonna bore the way that people treat the people. You're gonna hate the fact that he hates that people hate black people. And then, 60 years later, you'll be the enemy in Germany. This takes place 2 years before the Civil War, right? So it's like, it's not too far after you get the World War II stuff, but that's it's still a ways away. But yeah, it's just funny how he played both characters the opposite of each other.
Oh yeah, I love that dichotomy there.
Yeah. So okay, so I'm glad this is the first time you watched this one. I didn't know if this was one of the few that you've seen so far, because I know you're kind of knocking them off your list as we've done these, right?
So I've now seen Kill Bill 1 and 2. I've seen Jackie Brown. I've seen Django. I've seen Pulp Fiction. I've seen Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Hateful Eight.
Nope.
Okay.
Reservoir Dogs.
I've seen Inglourious Bastards. I have not seen Reservoir Dogs.
Okay, that's one I'm surprised we haven't done actually in the show.
And what was the other one you mentioned earlier?
Death
Proof. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, that one's like my least favorite, honestly.
Jackie Brown.
Jackie Brown, I've seen.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Recently, but I've seen it.
You still got a couple of good ones there to get to, honestly. But yeah, okay, cool. All right. Well, why don't you get into your likes and dislikes, Parth, for the movie then, like overall?
Yeah, so I liked, like I was saying earlier, the brutality of the racist South. I liked that they showed that, and that was just kind of the background vibe of everything. The brutality of slavery, and just like the intro scene, you just feel like you feel for those slaves that were being marched, because like they do everything so right. Like it looks so cold and so rough in every aspect. So like I liked how they created that, because like, you gotta, everyone's gonna feel bad for those characters, but like he really nailed it on the head, where you were like, oh my god, this is fucking terrible. Like I felt the guilt. I'm not white, but I felt it. Like it was fucking strong. So I liked how he did that. But I like how he also had like the background love story to kind of soften all that. So it wasn't just all, revenge and racism and all that. There's still like the quest for love and something good, and like that aspect to it. So I like that right there. Those are kind of my two main likes for the movie.
Any dislikes for the film? Like anything that really, like, you could even say that you didn't like about it, like even in comparison to other Tarantino films. But that's gonna be hard for you to say, because you just
says my number one
favorite.
Right, yeah. There's literally nothing. I sat there quietly for like 2 minutes straight, just thinking, staring at the wall. Like, can I think of anything to try to be critical? And like I couldn't. It was so entertaining through and through. It doesn't even feel like a 3-hour movie to me.
I basically, upon this rewatch, the couple of things that I kind of centered in on in terms of likes, because we'll get into like the scenes and quotes. There's a lot of great stuff like there as well, which we'll get more to talking about here. And as I mentioned, I am a big fan of Tarantino, and I do love this movie. But I think some of the best stuff in this movie, it is honestly some of his most inspired characters. I felt like in this film, like I'm always impressed with like the characters and the backstory he gives to his characters, and like how like there's so many like subtle things about the characters themselves that you learn throughout the film, that I know that he's probably added to like the bio of these guys. And then sometimes like some of the actors that continue to work with them, there's some things they add to the characters. But I think like between Leo, who honestly like steals the show with his part
Yeah.
in a movie amongst like huge actors doing all great
Right.
performances, who just really at the time, like I know was a surprising. For one, it's the first time he worked with Tarantino, and he's gone on to work with him again, which I'm really happy about with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. But like at this time, this was shocking that he played this character, like this fucking plantation owner, like racist, and you know he's in there throwing the N-word around. And I remember hearing him talk about it like he was uncomfortable saying it on the set, and like he had to like Jamie Foxx and like Samuel Jackson like had to like basically be like,
Yeah.
you know, like it's okay, like this is a character you're playing. Like they kind of had to be like, you know, like you need to go there with it, like you know what I mean, like what are we doing here, right? Like because he kind of felt uncomfortable apparently after doing some of the scenes, right?
Right.
And but he just kills this. This is like one of his best characters, Leo.
I
Honestly,
agree. And I saw some fact that was like Tarantino had picked almost every star for their role except for Django. You know, but everybody else was like locked in. He was like, I want Leo, I want
Yeah.
Waltz, I want all the whoever Hilda was. You know, he wanted those people.
Kerry Washington.
Yeah, Kerry Washington. Yeah, so it was like that was interesting that he had the character so shaped up that he was like, I need this specific person to play it.
Yeah, he's that type of guy though in terms of casting, right? But I mean,
yeah.
for sure. I remember I'd heard that Will Smith was met with him and he was considered to play Django originally. In the trivia, I came across that. I think he's spoken about this, but it was one of those things where like he just wasn't interested. And this really is a shame, honestly, in my opinion. That listen, I love Jamie Foxx in this movie, but I just think that would have been like again a risky kind of role for him to play. That he probably. Like is more roles I wish that Will Smith was willing to kind of take on in his career, because I think that would have been really interesting to see him play this role in this movie. Would it have been as good? I don't know about that, but I would have been interested to see him play a character like this, because in the same way I thought Leo was like, I was shocked that he played this character in this film. I would have said the same thing if I feel like Will Smith play this character, because he kind of had the action star thing kind of down, because this is like sort of like that in some respects, right? But like, and he has some dramatic chops as well. But I think Jamie Foxx was on such a heater at this point. Like we just talked about Jamie Foxx in Collateral a couple of episodes ago, which was my pick. And he's great in this movie as well. I mean, dancing around talking about him here. He's fantastic in this movie. Every time I watch it, I mean, as much as I love all those other people I talked about, he's really good in this movie. So yeah, the casting and the characters are just like top notch in here. Like I mean, you could say that about a lot of his films, but I had forgotten how good again it was in this movie upon rewatching it. The one gripe I got about the film, though, I gotta say, I'm still not 100% with the ending. To be honest with you, And I know I had heard Quentin Tarantino said he scrapped his original ending on this film, I believe, and he like rewrote a bunch of. I think it was this movie that he did it on. It was either this or Bastards. I think it was this. I think he talks about scrapping like on the set the ending that he had intended for this, and basically rewriting like the whole ending within a day's time or something. They were talking about like how amazing it was that he was able to turn around like the whole film, but it took a lot of work obviously for him to do that in that last moment. That last stretch of the film though, before the huge shootout, I honestly just don't see the world and where he would have survived that altercation the way that he got caught there. And that's my only, which I don't want him to lose. He should win at the end of this film. If this is the corner that he painted the character into, I just don't like how the next scene we get him hanging upside down and he's alive. And then he goes on this other stretch of the journey, which in a roundabout way brings him back. Like you talked about the dynamite scene earlier and stuff like that. And again, it was weird seeing then Quentin Tarantino in that part as like an Australian guy all of a sudden working for a mining company. I don't know. I don't mind that whole scene. It sounds like you had liked it because you had talked about it earlier. I don't mind it, but I wish it was a little bit different, that last stretch of the film.
I see where you're coming from. I definitely thought about it too, and I had the same like break in my thought when like he does just show up upside down, and I'm like, how does he just get here? Like not like what situation unfolded for them to decide on that? And I know he kind of explains it, but it still feels a little ridiculous. But like I kind of justified it by like, but most of their family just got shot and killed right now. Like they are in like
That's true.
a weird like time right now where they're just trying to figure stuff out, and so like I could suspend my disbelief enough, but I see where you're at, where it is like it doesn't flow as smoothly as everything else in the movie.
Yeah, I just think that like all these guys that that are against the black people would not stand for what had occurred, where he assassinated everybody in that house and let him survive. Right? I know that the sister was in charge, I guess, at that point in time, and that's one of the only reasons he doesn't get his dick chopped off by Walter Goggins during that scene. Right? He gets kind of saved as a result of it. It is in a movie of like already kind of like ridiculous. Like it is a stretch any of this stuff to have the slave kind of rise up and kind of, which I'm not opposed to. I like how that he chose him to be the person who like wins the day here and is the hero of this film.
Right.
But it's that, and I'm not mad that I'd be upset if he got killed. I just think like, in that moment, if you want to talk about a little bit of more of a realistic situation, I do not see him surviving that moment. Right. And that's my only issue. And that's the thing. I don't even hate the ending that he chose. It's just because everything after that is cool. Like the way he goes back to the house and takes everybody out. Like that's awesome. That part. I just, yeah, I don't know. That's the only thing I can't get with 100% that like still kind of bugs me. And I honestly forgot about it until like it got to that point. I was like, oh yeah. Like I think I've always felt that way about that part of the movie. And when it gets from point A to point B with that character, I just don't see it. Honestly, I don't know. I just wish that he found a more clever way out of that situation than the way that he kind of, and that maybe that's attributed to what I said, if that is what happened and he kind of scrapped the ending and kind of came up with this new ending or whatever. I don't know if that's the case, but if that is the case, and I remember hearing correctly, maybe we can attribute some of it to that, right? I don't know. His scripts are just so tight and well thought out that kind of seems like, I don't want to say lazy, but almost like a second thought where he had, where he's just like, you know what, how about we don't go down this path, we go down this other path instead, and I'm going to show up as an Australian. Where I'm just like, what the fuck? Which it's not the first time he's appeared in one of his movies. That was weird, man. And like, I don't know, he's looking extra chunky at this time. It was weird. I don't know.
No, I'm with you. I'll accept it as something like that, because I did have that thought too.
Doesn't ruin the movie for me though. Nowhere near ruin the movie for me. It's just, if I'm gonna point out one thing, even upon this watch, that bugged me, it was that. But go ahead,
Fair.
Julie. How about you?
I did what I normally do, and I looked at a lot of the technical aspects of like the filmmaking part when I went to my likes and dislikes category. The editing is brilliant. There's so many hilarious music edits, and this is something that Parth and I talked about when we were watching it, that like apparently Ennio Morricone was hard pressed to not work with Tarantino after this or something because of his weird musical cuts. And they're so funny. I
did Hateful Eight though for him too, I think.
But then
right?
he did Hateful Eight, and he won an Academy Award for that.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. His score, it's amazing. The music and the score or whatever in that film. Yeah,
it has to do with like where he places these hard cuts in the music. But I think they're funny. They work so well, like for a comedic aspect. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah,
I love
so
that,
fun.
dude. That was so good. And there's a story behind that too. I just saw a little video about that. Jamie Foxx was he went to QT, and he was like, we need to fill this part with like some good rap song.
Yeah.
And he was like, nothing that exists, let's make something. And then Jamie Foxx like just wrote the first bars, like the 100 Dead Men, whatever. Yeah. And so he just had that like little part, and they got Rick Ross to do it, and that's the song. And it's so good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's such a badass part.
It is.
I think, and actually Parth made this point when we were watching the movie too, but I also picked up on it. Like I find that I took notice of like the lighting choices a lot. Like there's a particular part like where there's this candlelight stuff going on. It's like, it seems like it's really like the ambient lighting effects that they're doing are really cool. But there's also these parts where like where Jamie Foxx and Schultz are in the bar near the beginning of the movie. They first walk into that saloon, and then he sits at this one table, and it's the only table that's lit. Like there's just like such these particular choices they're making with lighting stuff that are really fun to me. Yeah, I don't know. The music is great.
Sorry to jump on the lighting real quick.
Yeah.
There was another scene where it's freaking Samuel L. Jackson and Washington in the back quarters. Yeah. And so he has like a lamp up, and you see like the lamp on her face, and she kind of looks like all lit up and innocent because of it, and then you see the lamp like a little side of it on his face, and he looks so evil because of it.
This is where he confronts her about knowing.
Yeah.
Knowing Django.
And so that lighting was really good too. Yeah.
See, here's the thing. I usually notice that in other films, when it comes to Tarantino, sometimes I have such a hard time focusing on those things I like.
There's so much other stuff going on
because it's the dialogue and the characters I'm in love with. That's the thing. I'm glad that you're touching on this stuff, Julie, because when it comes to Tarantino, except for like some of the layouts of scenes that he sets up, like the actual staging of them, I don't notice that kind of stuff as much, I feel like, when I watch his films.
But that means it's done well. For the most part, it's like if you don't notice it,
right, they're doing their job.
It's blending well. Yeah, it's just because I'm a fucking dork and I notice like random film production stuff. But yeah, stuff like that where it's like, especially in this type of setting, like in this time period, and you're trying to be accurate with like how little, there's no technology at this time, so it's not like there is lighting in a house. Like you have to be so creative with your choices and how to do this in production, because it's got to emulate the time period, but it's got to be not obvious that you're faking it. So it's like it's so well blended and so seamless that you're not supposed to notice. So that just means it's done well. But it's something that's impressive to me, because when you think about how difficult that's going to be from a production standpoint, is you have to make these, they have all these candles, like they seem to be actual candles they were using. It looked like real flame stuff, but like they're also going to use this ambient kind of warm lighting, these like external lights, or they're using, if they're not doing that, but I imagine they are using additional lighting, but if they're not doing that, then they have to have this crazy low light lens to be able to capture some of this stuff. Like it's kind of an impressive technical thing. As far as like my dislikes, it was kind of a hard thing for me to come up with anything. I have things that are dislikes, but we're supposed to dislike them. Right. It's intentional. Like the brutality, the uncomfortability of the whole subject matter. Like, fucking Candy is way too close with his sister. Why is he kissing her so much? It's supposed to be gross.
So I'll mention it now because that was one of my questions. I don't know if I ever took note of that before, weirdly enough, because like, I mean, I always noticed how ridiculous he was, but my question was going to be like you said, like, is this like a Southern implication that he's sleeping with her? Like, are we supposed to believe that he's banging his sister? Because like the way he's acting and smooching her and going wild when
he jumps out, he does the jumps out the stage, goes, "Where's my hot sister?" or whatever the fuck he's
right. I never really took note of that, but is that like intentional? We're supposed to think that that's the case or not?
I think so, but I think he tries to keep it like as vague as possible, because it could still be like he's like French, and so he's doing like the French kiss, kiss kind of thing. Or he's not French, but he likes to pretend he's French, right? Yeah.
Just kissing his sister on the mouth like that.
But he did also just kiss her on the lips. Not very French.
I mean, if I ever took note of that before, I just forgot about it. But like, it really stuck out this time when I watched it. I was like, is that what he's trying to say here? Because obviously, I knew that didn't go anywhere other than like his just like. But that's the thing. I don't know if that was just him being flamboyant, like a flamboyant Southern dandy of some sort. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know, like, because you're getting a little bit of that too, right? Like, like the mannerisms and like, not to say.
I mean, I also thought he was trying to pimp his sister off to Schultz.
Like, right. There was moments where she seemed interested in him. That's the thing, right? Like, so I don't know. Like you said, I think that's just one of those Tarantino things that maybe he knows the backstory, right? I don't know, but I did catch that. So good pull. Yeah.
The stuff everything that I had in my dislikes, it's like, it's intentional. We're supposed to dislike it. Like the brutality of a slave getting fucking torn to pieces by German shepherds. That was awful, but it's supposed to be awful. We're supposed to dislike it. So it's kind of a conflicted category for me. The editing of the trauma fucking coming back to Schultz of having seen that was a really good choice to me. It was almost like a jump scare, but like it played well where it was placed. And yeah, like the slave torture, the fucking whipping scenes, those were all brutal, but they're supposed to be. So
Yeah.
it's not even like an honest dislike. It's like we're supposed to dislike it. That's intentional.
Yeah, and there's something I forgot to mention that you just reminded me of right now is that in doing so, like you said, like a lot of the stuff that you're supposed to obviously feel affected by in that way,
She's
like
supposed to be disgusting.
we're actually seeing through Schultz's character, Christopher Waltz's character in this, and I feel like I never really gave him enough credit because I felt like when I first watched this, as good as he was and as loved as I was with that actor after seeing Inglourious Bastards, which I still think is his best role I've ever seen him in.
Down. Love him.
I think he won the I think he won an Oscar for that, if I'm not mistaken. But I almost thought this was like such an easy follow up for him because like we just talked about earlier, like it was almost like the opposite in every way to the last character that he played in a lot of ways. So I almost felt like, okay, he's just playing it. He's playing basically the same type of character, but differently, like in a way, like just in terms of his motives or like his, how he feels towards like, his racism or whatever. Right. The fact that he's like, we're witnessing the way he's reacting. He adds so much to the character just with his reactions. I felt like,
oh, absolutely.
Yes. Yeah.
Like just what's the bounty and like how he sips his beer for a second and pauses. Right. It's like a reward.
Those little flares. Yeah.
And
he adds like so much by doing so like these little mannerisms or reactions to stuff, or just the way that like how troubled he looks in certain scenes. I really thought like there's all these subtle things he's doing which I didn't give him credit for before, which I should have, because I really like Christopher Waltz. I think he's a great actor, but I just didn't think this was as good as the Inglourious Bastard character. So I kind of gave him short shrift a little bit, where I'm just like, he's just like a different version of that character. It's fine. And I was like more like Leo, Samuel, Jamie, but he's really good in this movie too, right? So I don't want to discount his performance.
No, yeah, like equally as confidently and charming as his last character, but he's definitely very pure in this, and he's kind of like what levels us as we're watching it, because like he's our outlet for feeling bad about everything here.
Yes.
He's feeling bad about it. Yeah.
Right.
I also kind of like had a bit of disbelief with that character at first, but then upon like further research, it was like just because. I don't know, I'm kind of ignorant in terms of history stuff, but the whole thing of him like being a German and then going to, just given the whole Nazi thing that comes not that long afterwards, like apparently it's like the 1840s, like a lot of German revolutionaries went, like they left Europe and went to the US and became like a big part of like the anti-slavery movement, which like just I didn't know that. I don't know.
Well, yeah, no, I don't think I knew enough about that either, but I'm not surprised. That's the thing. Like once World War II happens, for so long after that, they were fighting against that imagery that now everyone when they think of Germans, they think that and they're all like that.
Yeah.
Right? So that's why
it's undid what they were kind of doing before World War II, I guess.
I cast him in this role, right? That's why, because I feel like he played such a good Nazi, like Jew, like hunter, that Jewish hunter in that film, that he was just like, I need to undo this, this wrong that I made.
Yeah.
Thank God he didn't get typecasted in that regard. But again, he is still playing another bounty hunter, just different. So like there is a bit of that going on too, right? So I also wanted to show this off before we get any further. I forgot to mention this. There is a Django Unchained graphic novel that Tarantino actually co-wrote. And like he did with Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, he wrote like a novel after they came out with that film, and it added all this backstory to the characters from like
really cool.
To like into like the stuff that he put into the bios of his characters. This is through Vertigo, which is like an imprint of DC Comics. They did a lot of other mature adult comics, like one that we talked about here, like V for Vendetta. We talked about on the channel here, the movie. And there's some really good people involved with this. It's based on the screenplay by him and Reginald Hudlin, who's has also worked on films. He has written some comics, like Black Panther comics. Who's a Black creator? He wrote this and has like a great 3 or 4 really great artists. This is out of print, I think, currently. But if you can find this in a bookstore and you're a fan of this film, I highly recommend checking this out, Parth, because this is
that's super interesting.
It's really cool. It actually adds and extends to some of the scenes that are in the movies. Like, it's very close in terms of like the storyline, like so it doesn't really add too much more. Like, scene for scene is pretty exact, like alongside the movie. But there's about 2 scenes in particular that there's a lot of added material and backstory to some of the characters that you don't actually get in the film that I guess was in the original script. Cool. Yeah, if you're a Quentin Tarantino fan or a comics fan, I definitely suggest trying to track this down if you can, because
I'll keep an eye out.
I disregarded this for a long time, and then one day I'm like, you know what? I don't know why I don't buy this, because I'm a huge Quentin Tarantino fan and I'm a huge comic fan. Why don't I own this? And then I read it. I was like, oh, this is fantastic. I don't know why I didn't pick this up previously. Right?
Oh, I'll have to get that, even if I don't read it, just something to have on the shelf.
Yes, exactly. yeah, it's very cool. But yeah, Parth, why don't you, unless you guys have any more likes, dislikes, you can get into favorite scenes and quotes.
Yeah, let's get into it. Let's see. Of course, the classic, you had my curiosity, now you have my interest, turns to the camera. So good, dude. Instant classic.
The zoom in of him when he's like,
yeah.
That's what I mean. Like, some of those editing choices are, well, I guess they're filming choices, but they're so funny. Like those zooms, those crazy whip pans.
Yeah.
Oh, they're funny.
Yeah, the way he delivers
this is
it
a bit
too.
of fun. Why don't you come over here and join us?
Right.
He's got that long cigarette with the. I love those things.
See, Nico could have been. I could have got that. I was just telling Parth that we had at the auction house once this collection of those. We call them bitch sticks. I don't know what they're actually called.
Yeah.
But we had a bunch of them, and they were in a box lot. And I was like, I could just buy these and give them to all of my stoner friends. Fancy little joint holders for all of y'all.
Let's see. Another good one was said earlier in the movie, Big John Brittle says to Django, "I like the way you beg, boy." And then Django later, when he kills him, says, "I like the way you die, boy." That was real good. Love that.
Yeah.
I already mentioned
JT isn't here today to let them fly, so I got to be careful with some of these quotes.
Oh yeah, right.
I literally repeat a lot of the movies.
Wrote out N-word in my notes, so I don't say it. I'm not gonna lie. In my original notes, I think it was written, and then I'm like, I gotta edit this.
Yeah, I edited mine too. Mine just had the letter N. I just removed the rest of it from all of them. Like the next one.
Wasn't able to join us here.
I count 6 shots, neighbor. I count 2 guns, neighbor.
I had that written down too. Yeah, that was great. That was a great line. What a
love it.
line.
That's just one of those ones where you go like, oh, like as soon as it happens. Yeah. Love Django saying, "Hey, little troublemaker," every time he's coming in and being all manly, sexy.
Yeah.
Let's see. "Oh, you are one lucky neighbor. You better listen to your boss, white boy. Oh, I'm gonna go walk in the moonlight with you. You want to hold my hand?" The way Django delivered, or Fox delivered that, so fucking good.
I wrote that one down too. You want to hold my hand?
I would have spit my drink out if there was something in my mouth. That was so good. Another one I really like. This one made me chuckle so hard. When they're all doing their deal and Dr. Schultz says, Prost, like, German for cheers, and Calvin Candy's just kind of like, German.
Yeah.
That just like plays into that character so well.
Yes.
Like, he's like always trying to he's super ignorant, but always trying to be the smartest in the room. Yeah.
Well, that's one of my favorite quotes when the lawyer is talking to Schultz as they're walking up the stairs, and he starts speaking. He's like, "Oh yeah, Monsieur." He likes to be called Monsieur Candy, and he's just like, "Oh," and he starts speaking French. He's like, "No, don't talk French about it. He doesn't know French. He's gonna be embarrassed. Do not do that."
Yeah, and that is just setting the groundwork for that whole character and like what's gonna happen to him the whole time.
Yet he wants to be called this. He doesn't know a lick of French, but yet he wants to sound fancy, right? Like know right away. You're like, "Oh, this guy's a douche," right? Yeah. What else you got? Anything else, or
that's all I got for now. I mean, I got a couple others, but I'm gonna leave them for you guys.
Yeah, go ahead, Julie.
there's a whole dialogue bit where Schultz and Django are hunting the fucking three brothers at the farm, and
The
he was like,
brittle, yeah.
"Are you positive that's him?" He goes, "I don't know what positive means."
Oh yeah.
You sure that's him?
Are you sure that's it?
Positive?
Yeah.
I don't
What
know.
is that?
You don't know if you're positive? I don't know what positive means. It means you're sure. Yes. Yes, what? Yes, I'm sure that's Ellis Brittle.
I'm sure
Yeah.
he's
I'm
dead.
positive he
Yeah,
did.
that's it. Positive.
I also wrote out the one where the guy asks him if he knows how to spell his name, and then he spells it out, and he goes, "The D is silent." He goes, "I know."
So, do you know about this part?
Maybe.
Okay, so a bit of trivia on that scene, which I kind of knew, but I've never really took the time to look it up. But I always had a suspicion. That character is the original Django from the original Django movie. That's why he says that part to him in response, right? So that was like
that
a little
makes it so much better.
Yeah, his name, I had it written down.
Franco Nero, I think.
Yeah. Do you look that up? Do you know that part?
I saw his name in there, and I saw some shit about it in there. Yeah.
Which I never really like. I feel like I knew, but I never really like did the research and looked up like was that scene him, because just the way it's set up, I'm like that must be somebody, right? Like the way he just has that one line, right? Because like there's so many nods to like older actors that he has in small parts in this movie from like westerns and stuff like that. Even Walton Goggins was working on that show on HBO at this time,
Sons of Anarchy.
No, yeah, he was on there too, but I think he was on like Deadwood or one of those like western shows.
Okay, yeah.
Maybe not that one. No, Justified. That was one, right?
Yeah.
So he's on that show.
Right.
Walton Goggins was a character on that show. So again, like he's using people that have been in like western things and like you know. And then,
I completely forgot about that show.
I think because Timothy Oliphant's in that show, I think,
yes.
right? So he then went on to be in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. He was in that movie, right? So like obviously, I feel like he's either a fan of that or like some of these actors that have worked in these like western type circles. Because obviously, you know, Tarantino, this kind of scratched the itch, and then he literally just went on to do Hateful Eight and did more western stuff after this, right?
Yeah.
So yeah. So, but I thought that was really cool that he used that actor for that. He's like, yes, I know. Like,
I know. There's another one in the beginning that made me laugh when they first free Django from those guys, and he says after he shoots the one guy and then tips over the horse on the other guy, he says, "I'm gonna be needing a bill of sale. Do you have one?" And he says, "You go to hell, dentist."
Yes.
His whole stagecoach thing with the fucking dancing tooth on top is so funny.
Yeah. That is definitely a choice. Like that is not just a random thing. Like, that is to lighten the.
It makes him look like a snake oil salesman.
Yeah.
That was the other thing too. I noticed upon this rewatch, like there's always funny bits in Tarantino films, but like there's a lot of funny stuff in this movie amongst all the brutal. Like he really balanced it well in that respect, where he has, you know, there's brutal moments, there's fun, adventurous type moments, action moments, but then you have so many funny scenes, which like a lot of the time are poking fun at like the ignorance of these characters, right? Like that's a lot in a lot of them, right? But
I have trivia about that part actually.
Yeah,
that I came across that the reason that he was on a stagecoach for the first like third of the movie is because of when he fell off the horse. Oh. So Christoph Waltz fell off a horse during filming, and he was off for some amount of time. Parth will know.
4 months.
He broke. What did he break? His pelvis. What did he break?
Oh, I'm not 100%.
He broke something. He got injured. He couldn't ride a horse for a while, and so they refit the character to have a stagecoach at the beginning because he wasn't able to ride a horse because of the injury. So that whole bit, is because he had an injury. So it's kind of a rewrite.
You gotta love some of those happy accidents sometimes that happen on the film set, right? It kind of created this whole new scene. Yeah, that's awesome. I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I got a couple of quotes here. I said that Monster Candy one. I'll use your word of neighbor here. Let's see here. Okay, there's the part with him and Schultz when they go into the town where he said he's like, "What's everyone staring at?" They had never seen no neighbor on no horse before when they're walking.
Love that.
Okay, so the part where they get to the first plantation when he's trying to track down those people for the first bounty that he has when he first takes Django because he wants him to point out those three brothers or whatever. Now, I don't know if it's like it's considered a racial slur. Obviously, it's a word to describe them, but this word Jimmy, is that like, I guess, was a word that they used?
I don't know. I came across that too, but I don't know if it is.
Okay, so, well, clearly it's a word that he's using for them, though, in this movie. It is, yeah, but he says, yeah, you and your, the road from Texas to Tennessee to buy one of my neighbor gals with no appointment, no nothing. Well, what if I was to say that I don't like you or your fancy pants neighbor, and I wouldn't sell you a tinker's damn? And then he's like Django, and then like he freaks out at that part. I like that guy a lot, the plantation guy, that scene. And then he's trying to explain it to the other slave girl. He's like, "Oh, Django ain't no slave. Django here is a free man. You understand?" He's like, "You can't treat him like any of the other neighbors around here because he ain't like any of the other neighbors around here." He's like, "Oh, so you want me to treat him like white folks?" No, I did not.
but at the same time, you see Christoph Waltz like nodding his head, and you see him shaking. Yeah, that was great.
He's like, "No, that's not what I'm saying." And he's like, "What's the name of that boy that works in the town?" "Jerry. You know Jerry, don't you, sugar?" He's like, "Well, that's it then. You treat him just like Jerry." I like that whole exchange between them in that scene. I was like, oh my god. And again, like, I like the southern accent like these guys are having to bust out in these scenes. It's funny to be like, I like those characters. But not in the way that, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Apparently, Jimmy is a slur. It's an old slur. It's just shortened Jimmy Crackcorn, which I didn't know was a
okay. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fair enough. That's why it's not one I was familiar with. That's why I'm like,
me either. Yeah, I hadn't heard that one.
The word itself without that context isn't a bad word. That's why I was like,
right.
Is this a word? That's why I was just throwing it out there.
They have so many variations of various slurs in the movie. Yeah. It's hard to keep track.
And then I wrote down, honestly, the whole KKK scene with Jonah Hill and
I wrote it down too.
Hilarious. Like that whole guy getting mad about how his wife spent all day cutting holes inside of like 45 sacks or 35 sacks or whatever. What do you write? Well, he's like,
amazing.
He's like, if all I had to do was cut a hole in the mask, I could have did it better than this. He's like, did anybody bring an extra bag? He's like, fuck y'all, I'm going home. I watched my wife work all day on these.
And everyone they try to rip it, he's like, oh, I made it worse. Like 4 times they rip it.
Anybody have an extra? No, I don't have an extra.
I'm confused now. Are we going in with masks on or masks off? Like, what's happening here? Like, what's the point of going in with masks off? Like, I can't see right in the horse.
It's great because, like, as they're approaching with the masks on, you see some of them falling off their horses, and the horses just trampling them. Like, they're just dying on the way there.
Apparently, I watched some of the special features on the Blu-ray when I watched it the other day, too. No. I got all the paraphernalia.
Nice.
And it said that like the stunt coordinator guy that they hired for this, they used 35 horses in some of those scenes with all the horses in that specific scene with the KKK. He's like, I've been training my whole like life for this. Like he's been working in film, like doing that kind of stuff with like horses, like for 30 years or something. The guy said. And they used 35 horses, maybe more, he said, because you got to have extra on the side. He's like, he's the coordination of just having everybody and not have the horses get hurt, which if you see at the end of the film, they say that, like, no horses got hurt in the production. It was very important because as we know from other Tarantino films, he has a huge respect for stunt coordinators and people that work like in the stunt business. That's why he wrote the character of Cliff Booth in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, right? So like the fact that this guy got to do something like that, which is like his dream job of like having like this many horses in the same film, like that's even that little factoid about like behind the scenes stuff. I was like, wow, that's very cool. That
it is very cool when you think about it. Like, to think so many horses trained together, that is insane. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But yeah, that scene was hilarious. I had heard there was more Jonah Hill originally, and then a lot of that got cut, which is disappointing. That would have been fun to have more Jonah.
What else you guys got?
I wrote down, I really like the scene where Christoph Waltz was explaining this story of Brumhilde to Jamie Foxx, and he just like sits down in front of him like it's story time.
Yeah.
That was super endearing. I really liked that part. And then the other scene, I wrote down
always a mountain. It's in German folklore. There's always a mountain somewhere.
There's always a mountain.
Run a mountain. There's always a mountain.
I wrote down the KKK mob scene as well because it's hilarious.
Yeah,
they're all complaining about the masks, and then also like the explosion scene to follow that is so funny too. Like they get under the wagon, they're like, "He's not here," and then they shoot the fucking wagon from like in the trees somewhere and blow up the whole thing.
Yeah.
It was a great scene. The other one I wrote down was towards the end there where they have signed off on the release papers for Brumhilde. And like Christoph Waltz is refusing to shake Leo's hand, and he pulls the fucking taxi driver sleeve move and shoots him. Oh, that was such a good nod to that movie.
And you just feel the suspense. Like you feel like Christoph, like, don't do it, bro, don't do it. Just leave, dude. So you're good. You have the paper. Just get out. You can live your whole life. But no.
Where he's like, stop playing Beethoven, and he asks her to stop. He walks into the library, and then
that whole section is brilliant. What he says.
It is.
And then the whole question,
the dialogue bit about D'Artagnan,
Alexander Numont, and he's like, I was wondering what he would say. He's here today. He's like, he just says, oh yeah, well, I forget what he says, but he's just like Alexander Numont was black. Yeah. And he just sits there like he like looks down at his. The best is like, if you join me in the parlor, we're having white cake.
White.
Yeah.
White.
Exactly. Emphasis on white. Like he was so pleased with himself in that moment, right? And you could tell, like, he, how pissed off. That whole scene. Could you stop playing Beethoven, please? Freaks out. Yeah. Oh man, so good.
Yeah, no, like you're saying, Christoph really acted his heart out there in that scene. Like you see every emotion, you see it all, and you feel it. And that's one of the things that I wish didn't happen. I wish he didn't die, but like I get it, but I wish he didn't die. He's so likable, and I just wanted him to keep bounty hunting together.
But he almost, that kind of speaks more to, like, he was so disgusted by him at that point, and he kept like rethinking the dog moment,
right?
That he had to, like, that actually felt like a natural progression of his character to get to that point. Honestly, like, I agree, I wish he didn't die either, but even in that moment he's like, I'm sorry, I couldn't help myself. Like, this guy is a piece of shit. Like, I could not sit here and shake this fucking man's hand. That's where I draw the line, right? Like that whole, because I wrote down the quote there too. He's like, normally when I say Avita say, it means until I see you again. That. Since I never want to see you again, to you, sir, I say goodbye. And then he's like, it's a custom here in the South that once business deal is concluded that the two parties shake hands. It implies good faith. He's like, I'm not from the South, but you are in my house, so I must insist I must insist in the opposite direction. He's also a bad loser, an abysmal loser, and he's like they kind of go back and forth, and that's what leads to that, right? It's unfortunate, but it makes sense that it happened.
Such a great scene.
Yeah. I mean, I know you said that you were uncomfortable with the scene, Julie, but that dog scene is crazy too. It is a good scene. Just like the fact that you're bothered by it, I think proves that it is a good scene in that sense. Again, it's more about the thing that follows after, where he grills Django, and they're both staring at each other. And he's like, "Oh, your buddy there's looking a little green in the gills over there." And he's like, "It's kind of strange for somebody that's gonna get into neighbor fighting, right?" And he's like, "No, he's just never seen a man ripped apart by dogs before, right?" Like, he just like looks him straight in the face. He's like, "That's why he's acting like that." He's like, "Oh, okay," like because they're like constantly like going toe to toe, like mentally. It seems like in those scenes, right? Like he keeps like aggravating him. And slipping in comments. Like there's that whole scene where he says that to him. He's like, could you stop like pissing this guy off? You're going to like throw this whole, scenario off where you're going to, suss us out. Right. Like,
right. And he's like, no, I'm trying to keep him, intrigued. Yeah.
Anything else? Parts, quotes, scenes?
I had a fact about. I wanted to fact check myself to make sure I was right, but about that line you said that he said, "Sorry, I couldn't help myself." That's what Christoph Waltz said when he accepted his Oscar for this
so
role.
Cool.
For which role?
This role.
He won for this one and not for Hans Landa?
He won Best Performance by an Actor in a Supporting Role, an Oscar for this.
So I mixed up the one that he won the. Who did he lose to for that other role? Then did he not get nominated for that role? I think he
I'll
got.
check.
This is one of those things where I feel like he won for the wrong role. I mean, he's great in this movie, but he won as, I guess, supporting actor for this one. Then
supporting.
Yeah.
And then his acceptance was, "I'm sorry, I just couldn't help myself." And then he...
I mean, it's deserved. It's definitely deserved, but like, I'm surprised he didn't win for the Inglorious Bastard character.
He did win. He won for this one.
He won for both
that
of
makes
these
sense.
characters?
I
didn't realize that. Oh, man. I didn't realize.
Also for actor in a supporting role for that as well.
Yeah. Okay. No, I knew he won for that. That's what I'm like. I'm pretty sure he did win for. I didn't know he won for this as well. Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Good for him. I mean, that's there you go. I didn't know he won. Like, it just proves how good he was in this movie right there. Yeah.
And it won for Best Writing Original Screenplay.
Yeah. This is the haunting thing of Tarantino, where he only wins for screenplay. They give him the best picture.
Best picture, yeah.
Yeah. Like, he kind of keeps getting saddled with, which in his opinion he respects more because he is a writer first in his own admittance. Like, because he's one of the fewer directors that actually writes all his material, right? Which a lot of these good directors don't write their own material, right? So
yeah,
not all of them, but a lot of them. So, Parth, anything else?
No, that's all I got. Random trivia, is that part of another category, or is that this one?
Well, I got a couple more then if you're done.
Okay, yeah.
I got. Yeah, you mentioned earlier. I'll just fire off some things quick. You mentioned earlier about how like the whole thing of him wiping the beer off when they go to have the beer, and that whole sequence is really well done again, and just shows why he deserved to win. He's really good in that scene where he comes out and shoots the sheriff, and then he's okay. Now you can go get the marshal.
Yeah.
I got one more.
Oh, go ahead.
When they're doing the whole setup there in the guest rooms of the plantation house, and Christoph Waltz and Kerry Washington are speaking German to each other, but Django is hiding behind the door in the other room, and he says, "Our mutual friend is a flair for the dramatic." And then
that's so good.
He opens the door and then says, "Hello, troublemaker," and then
troublemaker.
he passes out, and then he goes, "You silver-tongued devil, you!"
He like pours the water and faints.
Yeah.
And then when the sister brings her to the room, and he's like, "Oh," she's like, "And I should bring," and just slams the door in her face.
Thank you very much. Bye.
She's like, "Oh, all right." He's like so thrown off by that. He's like, "Dr. Schultz is my guest. Hildy is my neighbor. Southern hospitality dictates that I make her available to him." I just like all the Leo lines, really. I think that's pretty much almost. Oh, and then again, the whole Steven character, like the scenes that he has in there, like when he reveals it, everything to him, and like he kind of, again, another brutal scene. I wouldn't say it's one of my favorite scenes, but just that character is so despicable. Like when he makes her like take her dress off and you can see the whip marks and all that during the dinner. Like that was pretty tough. That one, like I'd say, just because like the whole like scene itself, like it was just like uncalled for what was going on. And it was just really just to enrage Django, right? To reveal that he knew who she was. Right.
It shows how despicable he is, because like even his own sister eventually is like, "Oh, that's too much to cut out away from the
get her out of here. What are you doing during dinner?" Yeah. He needs a little panache, a sense of showmanship. Yeah, because at first he's like, "Oh yes, panache," and he acts like he knows what he means, and he's like, and then Steven's like, "What's panache mean?" And he's just like, yeah, and he like motions over.
Panache is a French word. He doesn't know it.
Yeah. It's like, yeah, tell him what it means, of course. That's pretty much it. I mean, I can go on all day here. Those are the big ones I had written down between the stuff you mentioned. And,
Samuel L. Jackson saying Hercules, more like Nigules.
Yeah, that's true. that's right after the panache line too.
Yeah,
And then the final Steven showdown was great, and also I don't know why we didn't mention this yet. The skull scene with Leo, like that scene, he actually cut his hand on for real when they first shot that. I think they replaced it with fake blood after the fact because he like rubbed it across Kerry Washington's face, and I'm sure that wasn't the case. But he was so in the moment, apparently, in that scene playing that when he like freaks out and he slams his hand on the table when he like reveals that he knows their plan. But he actually cut his hand in like the actual scene they talked about, like in the moment.
Right.
I think I heard him tell the story about that. I think on some talk show or something about how he like actually cut his hand doing that. That's so how much of a great scene it was, like how wrapped up he was in it. Like
right? Like so. I saw that he like finished the scene and the cast just like all like erupted to applause as soon as it was over because he went through it and everything. Yeah. And like it was interesting because the first time I saw the movie I didn't know that. The first maybe 2 times, and then this time I did know that. And so going in I was kind of like watching for it, and like he does still just kill it, but like you see slight like not hesitation but like a little weariness, like he's not just like putting it down on things and he's like being a little weary with it, but he still like uses it, which is amazing.
His hand kind of because apparently like you can see the blood just like spurting out on his hand when he does it, right? Like
right. But yeah, absolutely amazing.
No, I really am impressed by that, knowing that after the fact that actually was the case, right? So but he absolutely, again, I think he stole the show in this film. Like everyone's great in it, but he's very good at, like, again, just unexpected role at the time for him. Like, he always kills it between Tarantino and Scorsese and all these great directors he's worked with in the last how many years now. He just worked with Paul Thomas Anderson and his new film. Yeah, he's one of those guys that works with just the best directors these days because he can allow himself to do that. He does choice. Yeah, he does one movie every couple of years, and like it's always like knocks it out of the park in terms of like how popular the film is, right? So he can he can just do whatever the hell he wants in that sense, right? So, anyways. All right. So do you have more trivia? You said you had some trivia.
Random trivia. Yeah. So kill count. Or actually, no, I'll say the N-word count was 116, and kill count was a very nice number of 69.
69.
Very nice. The bloody hand, yeah. Oh, the Jamie Foxx's horse was actually his own horse.
Really?
A horse named Cheetah. Yeah, he
the one that was doing all the tricks at the end of the film.
Yeah. So it makes sense that he's good with it and everything.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that he must have his horse in dressage lessons or whatever.
Actually, you know what? Let me just make a quick point. I'm not 100% sure if it was the one doing the tricks. I know it was definitely one that he was riding throughout the movie, so that could have been a different horse.
Okay.
The one at the very end might have been.
It kind of looked like maybe a little bit different color too. I was looking at that when we were watching it.
Because wasn't that Schultz's horse that he has later on, like in the end of the film?
It could be, yeah.
Schultz, when he gets to the plantation with the ladies, that's the horse.
Yeah.
I think that was Schultz's horse he was on.
Fits, yeah.
Oh,
the fact that the horse does that too, yeah, amazing.
Yeah, the women are like giggling. He's like,
Flips.
Yeah.
And the other horse, his horse's name is Tony in the movie.
Yeah, which I think is like some reference to maybe Good, Bad, and Ugly or one of those westerns. I'm not like a big western guy, but I guess it's like some major character.
Which was a huge inspiration for these films, like the Dollars trilogy. That's Fistful of Dollars, and although so that I haven't seen those either, but I know that Tarantino's spoken about them many times, and it was like that, and like obviously spaghetti westerns from like the Italian ones and stuff, like the Django, like that's kind of what inspired his like choices in these films, right? So.
Just hitting on the classic Tarantino tropes, like there's a small foot shot with like one of the slaves. There's some dick shots.
Guy cannot help
Tarantino
himself.
Loves that. Yeah, a lot of people get blasted in the dick. Samuel Jackson popping up not until an hour 26 into the movie is pretty crazy because like when I saw
Although,
that trivia fact, I was like, "What? He has such
yeah,
a big role in that movie.
yeah,
How does he show up so late?" But he
yeah,
shows up late and does it.
yeah. No, it's true. I mean, if you even look at it, like even Leo shows up halfway through the film, right? Like,
Right, right.
yeah, but yeah, no, good point though. I guess I never thought about that. Again, he also stole the show in that regard. He's a standout for sure in this movie. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. This was one of the first times this was the first time that Leo wasn't top billing. That was interesting.
Yep. Wise choice,
Um,
though. Wise choice that he took this role. Wise
yeah, I
choice.
agree. I agree. Like you were saying, I could say it might be one of his best roles. Like
If it's not number one for me, it's within the top three conversation
same,
for
same.
me. Absolutely. Yeah, I remember just like people were just shocked that he played this character at the time, right? Like it was kind of shocking, to be honest with you. But that's what I mean. That's what I like about certain actors. Like sometimes you need to get outside your comfort zone to have a performance that people talk about in that regard, right? Like it
For
doesn't,
sure.
yeah. So like that's why, like I get why Will Smith didn't do this movie. Will Smith is way too safe with his roles, right? Like I get why he didn't take this movie, right?
Yeah, I saw something online that he said like he wanted more romance in the story and they didn't go for that. And it's like I think there's enough. There's plenty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also, again, maybe also as as a black actor, he's like, nah, I don't really want to be in this type of movie, right? I get that too, right?
Right.
That was his reasoning, but he's always been like played it safe. I feel like in terms of his the roles that he's chosen throughout his career, right? So he always kind of wants to be looked at as like a good guy, and until the slap, right? Like,
right.
Post slap, some would say he's recovered. I mean, I'm not upset by it anymore. Yeah. But then he went out on tour and did a terrible album. So there's that. There's cringy videos of him now rapping in front of people on the street, which I'm just like, why, man? Why? The Fresh Prince, no. Yeah. Anything else, Parth?
Nothing else that I have right now. But you guys have any interesting tidbits?
Julie usually has some. I know she's been dropping them throughout. You got any?
I sprinkled them in where they came up organically.
And I pretty much said the things that I knew as they came up throughout the conversation. Yeah. So I guess we'll move on to what we got here. Is that the questions, or I think we're at questions now, right? Okay. Any questions from the film that anybody had? I already said mine earlier was pretty much whether or not he was banging his sister.
We asked and answered mine.
Yeah. So I'll talk about we talked a little bit about the what ifs. Like we talked about Will Smith and some other people that were listed as potentials were like Denzel Washington, Idris Elba. I don't remember some other names, but I feel like all of those candidates are pretty good.
How old was Denzel at this time, though? That's the thing. How old?
I think people were saying he was a little too old.
Yeah,
but he is such a cool guy, right? Like
I agree. I would have loved
a
to
very
see
revered character. Yeah.
They have had to change the approach to the character, I feel like, though, if he was in it a little bit, because he does come off as cool, but Jamie Foxx is very cool and a younger dude at this time. If Denzel was in it, right? I don't know.
Will Smith, Idris Elba, Terrence Howard, Chris Tucker, Tyrese Gibson. There's another guy.
Totally.
Idris Elba, I could see that too. Yeah.
Chris Tucker,
but I think no. Chris Tucker's ridiculous.
Terrence Howard also no.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think so.
Tyrese Gibson also no.
No.
I can't. I think.
Honestly, I could see Will Smith doing it. He does get real emotional, right?
Yeah.
He does have that capability. I think he has the range for it. It definitely would have been interesting, but I think
that was his first choice. I think that was his first choice. I think.
I think I remember he was on posters and stuff. It was
I don't know about that.
Okay, I felt like it was pretty far in the process, but
they have both talked about it though. Will Smith has talked about it, and so has Quentin Tarantino, that he met with him. And Quentin Tarantino, that's what he does. He meets with the actors that he's working with for the first time, type of thing. He's one of those guys. That's what he did with Brad Pitt when he put him in Inglourious Bastards, right? But I agree with you, Parth. I could see him. I honestly wish he did do it. I'm like, as much as I like Jamie Foxx in this movie, it would have been again very interesting to see him in this movie. I feel like Denzel, I get like it would be cool. Like I love Denzel I love him in a lot of films, but I just think it would be a different film if he was in it, honestly, than what.
Yeah, and like that was one of the things I saw, that like QT had to like take Jamie Foxx out to a room in some of the early filming and be like, "Yo, you're being way too cool. You have to not be as cool. Like you be less cool. You are a slave.
That's right.
You will eventually become cool, but like it's a journey." And so like that, I think that would be even harder with someone like Denzel Washington, who like just everything he says.
I saw
cool,
that.
right?
I saw that clip you're talking about.
Yeah.
Where Jamie Foxx talks about it. Yeah. To his credit, because a lot of actors wouldn't even admit something like that. But he's like, yeah, the first day of filming, like I was not. He was like, yeah, that's cool. Like he did like the Quentin Tarantino.
He did the impression. Yeah, that was great. Yeah. And then Jamie Foxx is good at impressions too. So that was good.
He is like a multi-talented, like triple threat fucking guy. Like he can do music.
But so is Will Smith. Is Will Smith.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, exactly. So maybe that's what his intentions were behind casting.
Cuba Gooding Jr. wanted the role. But
I bet he did.
You know what? Cuba Gooding has also done some good stuff in his career, though. Now I feel like you look at him now, maybe like he's not like his time has not been well to him. If you know what I mean, but no, he's done some good stuff, Cuba Gooding as well. But no, I don't see him in this, honestly. Yeah. So
is there anybody else you guys can think of that's not listed there?
Now or then?
Let's say both. Like just anybody that you could think of that would kind of fit. Like if we just make it work for the time.
I don't know. I'm trying to think.
So you can even go like different character, different people at different age group, how they were younger or older or whatever.
You know what I really like? I like that actor. Although I can't see him in this role. I'm just thinking of other really good black actors I like. I like the guys that I like the dudes other than Donald Glover that are in Atlanta. Like Lakeith, what's his name?
Like a weird one, like Aquarius or something like that.
Yeah,
He's
both
so good.
They're both really good. Those guys.
Yeah.
Both of them are really good. I could maybe see him playing this character actually. The one that's
a good
the weird
one.
friend. The one that's the hold on. The one that's the weird
Darius, I think.
Lakeith Stanfield. Darius. Lakeith Stanfield. He's really good. I wouldn't mind seeing him in this role. I could.
Yeah, he's so good.
I think he could have pulled that off. Honestly, he's really good. That would be maybe my choice. That at least that comes to mind. Like
that's a pretty good one. Yeah, I like that. I think that would be a good one for like portraying the anger and everything too, because he's got like those crazy bug eyes that kind of show the intensity of everything.
Yeah.
Can you think of any, like this is super optional, but can you think of any that would have fit for Schultz or Candy? Even they're so good, like it's hard to put anyone else there. No.
He's just so good at casting, and again, like he is the perfect like coming off of Bastards. It was the obvious choice if he's gonna play a German guy again, and like you know how good he is like linguistically, like at his like speech, like he's like the perfect person to deliver these Quentin Tarantino scripts, honestly.
Agreed.
Like, I really can't. Julie's right. I can't think of anybody that could have played that role like as good as he did, honestly.
Yeah. Same with Samuel L. Jackson's character too.
Yeah, no. I mean, unless you're gonna somehow convince like Morgan Freeman to do that or
Morgan
something.
Freeman.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't know who else could have did that, honestly. Oh, you know what would have been good? If he was alive at this time, Chadwick Boseman.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, true. Black Panther. Yeah,
he would have been good as. I definitely. I think
he was good. Yeah.
He could have played Django for sure. I think.
Yeah.
He was good in that. I've seen him in a couple other things too. He was really good in other than I can see that for sure. Yeah, I don't know. Who did you say the other person? You said Leo? I mean, Leo, I think you can get a lot of really good white character actors to play that part, honestly. Like, I think there's other people he could have went with that I'm just not thinking of right now. Even if I took like Brad Pitt definitely could have played that part. I'm just thinking of other people that have been in Quentin Tarantino. You know what I mean? Like, he could have cast in that role. I could definitely see him in that role. I mean, I love him in Inglourious Basterds. I love him in Inglourious Basterds, Brad Pitt. Like I'm a huge Brad Pitt in Inglourious Basterds.
Bonjour, no.
Yeah, exactly. C. I love him in that. Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to say, but I think there's a lot of really good character actors that you could have got. Like that part is just an amazing part. I'm not even attributing it like someone else can't do like a great job in that role. It's just good that it was Leo, I feel like, that played that part. But I guarantee that's a part that's such a meaty part. Other people would have done a really good job at it too, honestly. That's the one where I feel like you can put a few other names into the hat, honestly, on yeah. The other one's not as much. Same with Jamie. I think Jamie and Leo, but like Hans, no, Schultz, no. And same with Samuel L. Jackson. I think those are really hard ones that kind of, they're the perfect people, I think, that he cast in that, which he's really good at. Yeah. So, all right. Any questions? Other questions then? No? Nope. All right. Movie pairings. Parth.
Heck yeah. So I'll just go through some. Every Tarantino movie, and you could probably even break that down to like rank them closest to which would be best to pair it with versus not. So I'm not gonna do all that. I'll just leave it at every Tarantino movie. No Country for Old Men. I thought there was a vibe share there, just because I haven't seen a lot of westerns.
That's
and
a good
this is
pick.
kind of a western.
Yeah, I didn't think of that, and I love that movie. Good pick.
Yeah. Sorry for stealing that.
That's
I put Shaft down,
Sure.
just because the like the little lore of the Brunhilde von Shaft being the grandmother of Shaft, the character. So that's fun little thing. Good, Bad, and Ugly. I haven't actually seen it. I've just seen enough about it and it parried it enough to know that this is a good pairing of it. This is a good one. American History X. I thought that was a
great fucking choice.
Yeah, interesting pairing.
I didn't think of that either. Yeah.
I didn't think of that one. That's a great one.
That is.
Yeah, that one, like, it feels a little left field, but it's kind of the same vibe. Like, you're still dealing with
that's my boy.
Dealing with all,
a lot less funny, but yes.
Oh, yeah.
Just as uncomfortable. My God.
Yes, very much so, and kind of like the opposite perspective of things in a way. Right. Yeah. Where, even though like it's showing how bad like the racism is with white people in this movie, that one's from the white person's perspective, as opposed to this one where, there is other white people reacting to really just Schultz, but like everybody else is kind of just like, this is acceptable, like in the times we're living in, right? So like, whereas that one's kind of like we've in some circles have moved past that, right? So, and it's like a very harsh look at the people that are still against, so like, that's a great pairing. Absolutely, yeah.
And then my last one is a little unorthodox, but I did it last time too. I'm going to try to continue this trend and pair a music video. So I'm going to pair the J. Cole Get Off My Dick music video.
Yes.
That's a really good music video. If you recall it, it's basically just like a bunch of slaves, like, revolting and having a good old time doing it. So I thought that was a good one.
Yeah, huge J. Cole fan here, so I approve that choice.
Heck yeah.
I just very quickly before Julie, I really, maybe I was lazy on this one, but this is such a unique, you actually came up with a couple of really great inspired pairings there between American History X and No Country for Old Men. I was trying to even think in the vein of like Western stuff, but I felt like the combination of things in this film is so unique to this film. I was really having a hard time finding pairings for it. And to add on to what you said, because you just said every Tarantino film, I will distill it down a bit. I will say, I said for the Western vibe, for sure, Hateful Eight and this are a perfect pairing. And then I would go for the Revenge trilogy, Revisionist History pairings of putting Inglourious Basterds as well as Once Upon a Time in Hollywood along with this. More so even Inglourious Basterds for obvious reasons. The Hollywood one is racial, obviously, as this other stuff, but it is like, again, like touching on certain parts of like Americana, like as well. Through the Hollywood stuff as well, right, in that film, and about women in the film industry, and about like, it's about, again, it's when I even looked up a description of this stuff, like people kind of were like very there is write-ups about like the fact that he centered in on oppressed kind of like peoples in these films and their revenge or ways to kind of come to progress through these things, these challenges in these movies, right? So yeah, I just think he kind of went from it from a different perspective in the other one, because it's like guys like trying to struggle with is in the other movie, it's guy struggling with his career, a guy struggling with his age in the music industry, like getting older and getting washed up, and a woman trying to break into the movie industry and this kind of stuff. So it's a little bit different in that regard, but yeah. So I think those are the pairings for Tarantino. And like you wrote too, I also wrote which I've never seen, but I usually try to do movies I've seen, but obviously clear inspirations for this are the Dollars trilogy, the Sergio Leone stuff, and the original Django film, which he took the name from essentially for the character in this. So yeah, the spaghetti western stuff. That's those are my picks for movie pairings. Go ahead, Julie.
I also put down the revisionist history pairings for Tarantino.
Yeah.
So Inglourious Basterds, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. I also put down No Country for Old Men. I put down Tombstone.
Yeah.
My last three are kind of loose. Like, I put down Sin City on the basis of just like cartoony violence.
Mm-hmm.
I put down The Revenant. That's also kind of loose to me as a pairing, but just like another like groundbreaking Leo role.
Yeah.
This one is I feel like I'm justified in this one. Obviously, it's a very different vibe, but Blazing Saddles.
Oh yeah, that's absolutely different vibe.
Very different vibe, but still kind of like challenging racial.
There is a lot of black people in Western jokes in that film. Yes.
I've only seen it once, but when we were watching it and I was thinking about movie pairings, it kept coming back to me enough that I was like, I feel like I might have a connection here, at least to put it down.
Yeah, I by the way, that's a funny movie. But it's definitely a different, like, for sure.
Yeah, different vibe, but still kind of.
That's more of a pairing for even last week, I would say, when we talked about fucking the Monty Python.
That would have been a good one. Yeah. I feel like one of us even mentioned that one. No.
Yeah, well, I talked about a lot of his Mel Brooks films.
That's the Mel Brooks film. Yeah. Okay. Fair enough.
Yeah.
That's all I got.
Nice.
Didn't have a super extensive list this time. I had the same problem as you, that it was just like, this is a hard one to match up.
I think, again, that speaks to Tarantino's, like, I know, like, people sometimes harp on the fact that, like, he cribs from, like, he steals from a lot of people, but, he's one of these guys that homages a lot of shit because he is a true fan of film and, like, a historian of it as well, like, and like a loving homage to these things, right? Like he steals from the best because, like, and if you don't know these references, it's not going to affect your movie enjoyment with like experience of this stuff. And a lot of the stuff that even he does pull from, like you even tapped into the Taxi Driver gun coming from the sleeve, like. It's awesome. Like, you know what I mean? It's awesome in this movie. It's awesome in that movie. Like, I have no problem if it's done well. I don't have
to dilute it down to like sort of put down the art form of what he's making, but it's just kind of it just goes back to the saying of like imitation is the highest form of flattery, that type of thing.
It's a fair criticism. That's the thing. The people that don't like Tarantino, like, I don't necessarily disagree with, like, I know, like, I get where they're
coming from. It's not for everyone.
Yeah, I mean, I totally against it. I'm not of that.
I disagree. Yeah, like I disagree with it, but it's I
get it. I get it in some regard, right? I just like how unapologetic and unafraid he is of like the things he loves. Like I'm like that. That's why we do this show. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's, you know what I mean? That's I get that. Like he's just a nerd. Like I understand why he likes all these things, right? So it's like I get it. Like I'm not upset about that, right? I'd rather him like admit that fact and shy away from it. Like these people are then pretending to be like artists that are like, you know what I mean? Like right? Like don't take yourself too seriously. You can be a fan of all these filmmakers are fans of cinema, you know, in a film. Like that's why they're directors, right? Like so I don't know. I just feel like some of these guys are just hacks that just get upset and call him a hack because they're not as successful, right?
Yeah.
So I don't know.
He's carved out a little niche corner for himself. Let him have it, you know?
Yeah, I just, that's why that is the one criticism. I understand why people like he just pull it, because if you really look at it, there's so many things in his films that are from other films. Like, it is true. Like, there's a
I
lot
think
of
he's
stuff.
just inspired, man. Like it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Nothing is original anymore. This is what,
I
this
think
is
it's
the
how you
nature
do
of
it. It's how you present it. I don't know, Parth.
exactly.
What do you think about that fact? I don't know if we talked
I mean,
about this with Kill Bill, but we probably did.
yeah. So like, I mean, I get where they're coming from, but I disagree. I think he's just he's gotten so good at doing what he does that he knows like he can just pay these homages and make it so enjoyable. Like you were saying, even if you don't know the reference, you're
Right.
gonna enjoy it when it's happening because like it was good to him, like you were
Right.
saying. And
That's the case.
just another I thought of a random trivia while you were talking about that like while he was filming this, he was like showing his own collection of westerns in a theater, like a local theater, just for everybody locally to watch that. Like that's
Yeah,
just
I heard
amazing.
about
Like
that.
he's
Yeah,
just truly a fan of this stuff. Like he's such a nerd. Like it shows.
yeah.
And
He has his own
so
theater, the New Beverly. Like, yeah. Have you ever been there? Where is that? Where is that? Is that California? Like, you've never been there,
I've
right?
not no. Where is
I would
that?
like to go there. I've heard about it because he curates like the films that they play there, like as a
Oh, it's
result
in
of.
Los Angeles.
It's in
Yeah.
LA, yeah.
Yeah, I assumed so. Yeah.
Yeah, but it is. I mean, I sorry, I lost my train of
No,
thought.
it's all right.
um,
About like homages and
yeah, I don't think he overdoes it. I think he does it just masterfully does it, and that's his thing. Like you were saying, like it's just it's what he does. It's his corner, and it's not lazy. Like there's so many
Right.
other people that do it that's way lazier, and
Not
it's nothing like that.
uninspired.
Like
Yeah.
it's paying homage. It's tribute.
Yeah.
he's just a passionate guy.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, I think we're all on the same page in that regard. Yeah, I agree. I just, it's just something I know that gets brought up amongst people
Yeah.
talking about his work, right? And I think it's a fair criticism that I don't necessarily agree with, but I can see, I understand. Like, I will say that is as much as I'll say on that matter, honestly. But yeah, no, I'm glad you don't think that to be the case. I forgot to say this hot take earlier though, but I gotta say, like, though, upon this rewatch of this, this honestly might be him at the peak of his powers in terms of his career. This movie. After this, the time period between the next two films that he does is a little bit longer because he's kind of churning them out every 2-3 years at this point of his career.
Mm-hmm.
And in terms of like the blockbusters getting bigger, and I feel like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, as well as it was received by some people, I don't think it was very well received universally at the time, like movies like this were, and Kill Bill, and like I mean, there's always a faction of people that don't like his stuff, but I think he was just on such a heater at this time after Inglourious Bastards and Kill Bill before that, and this and whatever. We won't talk about Death Proof, but that was a conjoined project. It's not a true
an anomaly.
yeah. But like, yeah, I just think like this, honestly, like looking back at his filmography, and again, unless I feel differently when I revisit Hateful Eight, which I still like, but it's just not at the top of my list. It's quite at the bottom, honestly. I feel this is I don't want to say like he peaked with this film, but this is like probably like him at the because like again, I love Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, but I just think this is like, he's firing on all cylinders at this point in time. Like when I watched this film, and I hadn't watched it in some time, and looking back at his like filmography, I kind of thought that to myself upon watching this at this time around. I'm like, would you disagree? I think this is like, I honestly think this is like, and this is when I was the most into him, and I was going to see his films in theaters finally, right? So
I super agree with that, and I think that's why I even rank Once Upon a Time so much lower than the other ones, just because like I was on this kick where the movies were just getting so good, like, and then that it wasn't as exciting. Like it was still a great story, still a great movie, but it wasn't like the dialogue wasn't like fine tuned to the point like these movies were. But I think there was more action and stuff to kind of balance it better in these movies too. So like,
Yeah,
Yeah,
Once
I don't
Upon
know.
a Time in Hollywood, honestly, like if you were to revisit it now, like the way I've kind of described it to people that didn't like it the first time around, because I didn't love it the first time around, that even I saw it, is that you got to understand that it's just a hang movie. It's a hang movie. You're hanging out with these characters. If you like the characters in the film, that's going to really shape your whole feeling about the film, because it's really just not only like a love letter and look at Hollywood of that period in time, which he obviously has a lot of like that, love for, but it's hanging with these characters.
You're
Like
totally
it's
right,
yeah,
and
like
that's what's so different than these other movies where you're like
yes,
on like a train track of like what the story is taking you, right? Like it's very defined versus that.
yeah, it's just the total. And I feel like everybody at that time was expecting that Tarantino, and he didn't
Mm-hmm.
deliver that Tarantino. And that's
Mm-hmm.
why I think it kind of fell flat, even with me upon my first viewing, where I'm just like, I thought it was going to be one thing. It was a different thing. And then I'm like, I got to rewatch that. And then like the more I've watched it, the more I've kind of come to appreciate it. But I think it makes sense because it's a later period film in his career, right? And now
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
we might not even get this 10th movie he keeps cock teasing everybody with. I don't know if you
Don't
guys
say
heard,
that.
they recently just announced that he's actually been cast for his first acting role in someone else's film. They just announced this past week. And that's I think, coming out in the next year. It's his first acting role since what's it called? Dusk Till Dawn. Like actually, like without like a bit part in a film. I'll look it
Okay.
up when you guys are talking. Yeah, they
Can I just
just
say I don't
announced
like
it.
that. I don't like
Right.
the sound of that. I
That's
haven't
what I
even
mean.
seen
He's
that,
getting
but I'm like,
farther
come
and farther
on.
away from doing another
Yeah.
film. He's
Oh
doing
yeah.
everything. He's doing everything but making another film at this point. He's like, I'm acting, I'm writing screenplay, I'm writing books, like I'm
Right.
doing a podcast. I'm just like, no, I'm on Joe Rogan. I'm like, no, Tarantino, like, come on, bring it back, buddy. Like, do a
Maybe he
film.
doesn't want it to end. Maybe he's like, if I put it out, then it's over. Like I can't keep
He,
going. So I gotta like.
do you know he's writing a Fincher film right now?
So that's the sequel to Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Yeah, we
Yeah.
talked about it. It's the Cliff Booth, The Adventures of Cliff Booth. That's amazing news. But again, he's not directing it. He's writing
No.
it. Fincher's directing it, which is like honestly a great dream team of
Pretty
collaborators
cool.
there. Don't get me wrong, but
Yeah.
again, it's not his. I hate that he talked up this fucking final film. He fucked himself.
I agree.
He kind of wrote himself into this corner now. He built it up, and now he's probably never gonna fucking do it because he talked it up so goddamn much.
Yeah.
And, there you go. That's just further proof. I forgot about that. He's writing film. He's not directing them. He's doing everything but direct another film. Everything but, and it's pissing me off.
Oh man.
By the time he comes out with a film, we're going to have talked about all of his movies on this.
Right.
Well, here we go. I see it. It's called what did it say? Only What We Carry.
Yeah, and he's acting in it like an actual top billed actor in this movie.
Yeah.
So I don't know what's going to happen there. And this is like for the first time he hasn't been involved. Like, because even in Dusk Till Dawn, he was involved. He knows Robert Rodriguez, like they're friends. So like he was involved in that film, like producing it, right? So this is him, like I feel like literally just acting. So I don't know who this person is that's doing this movie and what their relationship is or why she thought to cast Quentin Tarantino. He's an okay actor. I don't think he's a great actor. So I think it's going to be very. I mean, his Australian was super inspired in this. Hey, what are you doing over there, mate? Let me grab this dynamite.
Interesting. Yeah, I had totally forgotten about the movie critic thing, and then I guess he scrapped it.
Scrapped it. Yeah. He hates Hollywood right now, though. That's the thing. He hates what the industry has become, and I can't blame him. But now he's like, old man, get off my lawn, kind of like, and I'm just like, no, don't go out this way. Like, I don't know. I just want him to do one last solid film. Like
maybe it's a big troll, and he's still going to be making things in the maybe let's just wait and see.
Smith it? Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
Well, listen, there's lots of people that have retired from things and have come back.
Is that true? Is that true, Nico?
I've heard about this. At first I thought you were talking about Nicki Minaj, but different Nico.
We're talking about Jay-Z when he came out with the Black Album. Yes, I stopped. I said I was going to stop podcasting. Here I am. Whatever. It was in the middle of COVID. I was like, I'm done with this shit.
He had a break. He took a sabbatical. We've all done it.
Yeah.
Well, I, for one, I'm glad you're back and doing it.
Thank you, Parth.
We're all doing it together, and this is fun.
This is fun. This has been a fun conversation.
Yeah.
I mean, we're literally circling around this category, though. The legacy of this film. We might as well discuss it here. Parth, that's my answer essentially, though, is that this is the peak of what he kind of brought to the table, in my opinion. Honestly, like, I don't know about if you have anything to add to that, but
yeah. I mean, I agree. I do think it's the peak. I think like I talked about the brutality of the racism. I think he really gets to show how gory and savage it was. Like, there's been a lot of other movies that tackle that subject, but they still kind of like are a little light about it. But you know, Tarantino's not going to be light about anything, so you know, you get to see that, and I think that's good for the cause. I think it's good to not whitewash stuff like that, you know.
The man has never tiptoed in his life.
Yeah, exactly.
no.
Yep.
I think both Leo and Christoph Waltz had some of their absolutely best performances in this movie. Leo is just so despicable. Like, you know, Tarantino even said, I hate Candy the most as one of my characters. Like, I've never despised anyone more. And then Christoph Waltz, so good. He just like, he starts out a little evil, not even evil, but just like a little neutral, but then like he like kind of wavers into the love story part of it, and like just that character creation and everything. I think that's gonna be, you know, forever. People always remember Leo as Candy.
Yeah, no, well said. Yeah, absolutely. I think, like you said, yeah, the characters that he made in this film and the story and the importance of what he kind of brought to sensibilities of making this film in that sense. Yeah, no, it is good. Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, well said. Good pick. I'm glad every time you join us, you've been like I said earlier, you've been picking these Tarantino picks. Yeah. So yeah, thank you for joining us again. This was like a lot of fun, and you know, I'll speak for Max. I know he's disappointed he missed out on this one, because I know he's also
really wanted him here. I really did. It would have been great conversations.
And one of these days we'll get JT here on with you for sure, man.
He actually texted me a little while ago and said, "Tell Parth I said hi."
There you go.
Oh, hello.
There you go. In real time there. So he'll see that. Maybe he'll skip all this shit talk about
Someone clip that for him.
It'll clip for like me insulting him and be like, hello. But yeah, no, good stuff, man. This was fun. Thank you for joining us once again. But before we go, we should mention the next pick, which is actually my pick here on the show for episode 73, and it's going to be very timely because it's going to come out on one of your holidays, Parth, your American Thanksgiving week. This episode will be coming out, and it's a bit of an inspired choice, not only for the fact that it has something to do with American Thanksgiving, but also the fact that they recently just came out with a very great documentary on this, and that's Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is my next pick for the show here. I'm gonna have to try to get through talking about that movie without crying.
Oh, Nico!
It's gonna be a challenge. It's it's a John Hughes film that's very near and dear to my heart. I love it. Starring John Candy, of course, Canadian legend, and Steve Martin, and also a legend. And honestly, just like, again, you want to talk about people at the peak of their abilities. Like, this is just a great pairing in a movie I really love. And John Candy, there's a documentary out on Amazon Prime right now called I Like Me, which is like the line from this movie. And there's also a book that just came out, which is actually by Mike Myers' brother, who wrote the book.
Oh.
That just recently came out. Yeah, and we're promoting that too. When they did the documentary as well. So yeah, so it's like a appreciation month, it seems like, for John Candy. So I'm like, you know what? I've always had this movie in mind doing it on here. I feel like I'm getting quivery in my voice even talking about it.
I've seen it once. This is it's due for a rewatch.
Yeah. Have you seen that, Parth?
I haven't. I'm looking forward to watching it with Julie when she does
Beautiful.
watch it for that.
Yeah. Bring a tissue box is all I'm gonna say. I don't know. I mean, maybe it won't do it for you. Maybe some people I talk to, maybe they think it's crappy. Yeah, but Yeah, there's some moments in this, like this is one of those movies I honestly, every time I watch it, it does it to me every fucking goddamn time. And I know the parts coming that makes me cry, and it happens every fucking time. I'm not even afraid to say that because and it's gonna be hard for me when we're talking about this movie. Honestly, that's the challenge.
Oh,
so yeah, you're like
so ready for this.
Yeah. So it's a really sad moment in that film, but it's such a great movie in my opinion. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to the conversation. So JT, I think, should be back for that one. But Parth, the door is always open. You can always come back and join us, please. It's always a fun time when you come.
I will definitely be back sometime. It's a good time.
Maybe sometime soon. I might hold you to that.
Yeah.
We're running out of hosts here. It's gonna be just me, you soon. Next episode is just gonna be me crying about
all my friends are gone.
Somebody will tune in. What the hell?
You're like, do you want to get in? Do you want to be on the show?
You can join us.
Yeah.
Please.
Asking random strangers on the street. Yeah, it's just a video of you approaching strangers asking if they want to be on my podcast.
Oh, this is content.
Yeah. Come on, guys. Who are you? Get away from me.
Oh my god.
Yeah, they're like eye roll. Like everyone's got a podcast these days. You want to be on my podcast? Anyways, yes, they do. But this is the best one. Make sure to like and subscribe, everybody. And tune in every 2 weeks. We put these episodes out. We've also been putting theme episodes out. Me and Christine and our friend Katie on some shows. We actually just did a bunch of Halloween content for the week of Halloween. We came out with 3 different videos. Me and Christine, we ranked all the Hellraiser films. We watched all 11 films in the Hellraiser movie franchises. And we did one of those tier lists, like the tier maker lists, ranking the films. We also did top 5 horror picks with her and Katie, her friend Katie, who they have their own TikTok and Instagram account, Boozy Books or Chris and Kat. You can go check out. And we also did a horror bracket episode where we did those bracket kind of challenges where you go down to, we had horror movies on both sides and we had to choose which ones over which ones to the bracket.
One reigned supreme.
Yeah, exactly. Mm-hmm. So yeah, we played some fun games and stuff. And I think opposite of this video too, if you go back in the feed, there'll be an episode of me and Christine talking about all of our spooky season watches, all the horror stuff that we watched throughout the month of October. I'll let all these guys off the hook because we know they're not fans of horror movies like we are. So you know what? I'm like, we'll do the October content for you guys. So that Steam episodes, make sure to go check that out on the feed. And Parth, again, thank you for joining us. Great stuff.
Thank you so much for having me.
And Julie, as always, of course, shout out to Julie Mack.
Yeah,
thank you.
She's amazing.
That's right. Okay. All right, guys. We'll catch you guys next time. Make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you. Later.
Bye.
Welcome to the show, everybody.